Okay, guys, alternate ending. Take 43.
With so many movies on the net and TV, it's kinda hard being up and film savvy. Do you catch a show while you're on the go? And how do you know what to keep or what to throw? How do you know what to keep or what to throw? Tune in, tune in, tune in to alternate ending. Tune in, tune in, tune in to alternate ending. Now! Please give a warm welcome to the hosts of Alternate Ending.
Welcome to Alternating. We're discovering good movies, one bad movie at a time. I'm film school dropout Robert Jarsinski. Across from me is our casual moviegoer Carrie Jarsinski and our very own critic in residence Tim Brayton. With First Man blasting off into theaters this week, we're exploring our top 5 space movies.
I gave you shit about not having a good pun at the end of our last episode. You promised me you'd have a good pun.
It's predictable.
But it's not blasting. It's about landing. So it's landing into theaters.
Okay.
You know, it's some sort of like, you know,
sure,
like
but they
lunar
have to
roving.
get off.
Its
You
way
don't
into
have to
theaters.
They have
land
to get
for it to
off
be
the
a space
ground
movie.
first.
Well, I suppose that's true.
And then they land. Maybe
don't
they
have to
don't.
land.
Spoiler alert, I believe that First Man ends with them on the moon.
I don't know. I feel like it could go a number of different ways.
All right.
But first, Care, we went through a very traumatic event today that I was hoping you could talk to
I
Tim
like
about.
when you throw these things to me. I spent the better part of the morning weeping.
Right. So it sounds like it was a bad day. So my two questions.
Yeah.
Are you getting a divorce, and which one of you wants to end up with me?
This is much more traumatizing than all of those things.
If anything, this event made us stronger.
Do you think so?
Yeah. Divorce is less imminent now.
Really?
I thought.
On
maybe
this
no.
Okay,
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Now that I think about it, now that you're saying it, maybe you're right. So I'll tell you what happened, Tim, and you can tell me how this would be for you. Yep. So sitting there just minding our own business, having a cup of coffee this morning, enjoying our kids, enjoying the day. All of a sudden, Rob's like, "Oh, what's that?" We look back. There's a massive goose in our backyard.
Okay.
And I was like, "Oh yeah, kids, look at the nice goose.
Just waddling.
Yep. Look at the nice goose.
These are great."
And then I look at Rob's face, and he has this like really non-guarded grimace face that you should never have around your kids. Like he doesn't have that buffer.
Do you have like a goose phobia?
No. It was just this is the time of year, Tim, where prior to our breakfast, I was enjoying being woken up to at 6 a.m. to the sound of shotguns going off because right near us is a lake.
We live a bit by the country, yeah. So there's a situation in our yard. Pretty quickly we find out there's a situation in our yard. I personally, the veg head in the room, I can't even if there's roadkill on the road, I don't take that road for several months. This is a no deal for me. Rob's like, I think it's not okay. I'm like, I think it's actually fine. I think it's okay. Don't go out. Rob goes out. Again, all of us are watching from the window. Rob, non-guarded grimace face, is like, when he sees that one of its wings is pretty much destroyed.
Oof.
One of its rings. So
it had a shotgun wound.
Sure.
Yeah.
To its side.
In very brief, speaking of Rob's underwear, Rob's in his underwear in the yard. He's standing out there now, and he's trying to shepherd the goose into our shed. And Rob comes in. He's like, "You got to come out here. We're all in our pajamas."
First, I had a feeling, and I've done this before, and this is where I want to change as a person. My instinct was first to do a bystander effect. You know what?
Sure.
The goose had already wandered into someone else's yard. Not my problem.
Rob's in his undies.
Then I came back,
chasing the goose down.
I came back and I thought more of it. And I thought,
this
is my chance to be a person of value and to do good. Little Mr. Rogers action.
Yeah.
And
he would have worn a sweater, but that's all right.
Yeah, we dialed up the Humane Society, Wildlife Society, and they kind of told us a little bit what to do. And we were trying to, get it to go into the shed to be safe while they came. But
this whole thing is comical. So the parts Rob is leaving out is Rob is standing there in his undies.
In my image, it's just Rob running back and forth like Shaggy and Scooby-Doo, but he's only in his underpants.
Is. So then a dog, he starts, he realizes that the bird is moving because there's a dog barking nearby. So Rob's sitting there in his undies barking at the goose in our yard. He's like, woof, woof, and seeing if it's hissing at him.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that
Rob's like,
birds have evolved from dinosaurs.
they have.
Yes, because this one, despite its injury, it had plenty of juice left to
geese
be trying
are
to-
mean fucking animals.
Yeah. Rob's like, come
Geese are
on, little
bastards.
one. Come on, little one. Woof.
Geese deserve really to be shot.
No.
In fact, the best part about the story is not you running around in your pants. It's the thought of the goose suffering as it slowly dies.
No.
And it was suffering.
Rob ended it well. We finally got a hold of it. We come out in our yard. Thankfully, Rob orders a lot from Amazon. We had a massive box. So Rob, like, after many hours of being in the yard, throws one of my favorite beach blankets that we'll had to throw away over the bird and captures it gently and then drove it like 30 miles to
The Wildlife Humane Society.
to drop
Right.
it off.
Where they probably have euthanized it.
No, don't say that.
I won't tell
They
Carrie. I'll find
probably-
out, but
No,
I won't
they
tell
won't.
They
Carrie
have
either
probably
way.
given it a silicone wing, and it is now flying.
No,
with its geese
it wasn't
brethren.
that. It was
pretty bad, Care.
I know it's bad.
Yeah, it's
but a lot
really
of
bad.
times they take those geese and they go to the zoo. I've heard. You know, like they fix it and then they go to the zoo.
that
Go
what
to a
happens?
zoo in Canada.
No. Don't you know? I feel good about You're right. I am not going to leave you now because of that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing
It was
that,
a
Rob.
lot of work. I feel better that I did it.
Here's the
took
thing.
time.
Here's what would have been less work. Just like dropping
Stop.
a brick on it, and then we could have been having a very lovely goose dinner right now.
Stop. No one eats geese.
Plenty of people eat geese. It's a very shitty, gamey bird meat. It's like
Yeah,
it's like if you
exactly.
had chicken that was made out of burned rubber.
Exactly. Sounds
Very, very
tasty.
good.
Sounds
Very
tasty.
exciting.
Not as exciting as the movie hitting theaters that just hit theaters this week. I'm not talking about Venom. I'm talking about what am I talking about? Stars Born.
Oh, the movie that we
That was my attempt at a transition.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Good
I couldn't.
transition.
I was still thinking.
You really
of,
goosed that
bloody-
one.
Hey,
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
If it was a Top Gun episode, that would have been
That would have been pretty
easier.
great.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it is not.
We'll tell the story about the goose again when Top Gun 2 opens.
There you go. Let's dive into our worth mentioning segment. What is the worth mentioning segment of the movies we've seen since the last episode? Which are the ones we want to talk about most? They could be great movies. They could be terrible. We share them either way. I think all three of us managed to unite and go see A Star is Born, partially because, Carrie, you and I had to do a video review of
Yeah,
that,
so
which
that
we
should
just
be
concluded.
coming out next week, I think. So if you guys want to check that out on YouTube, our A Star is Born video review will be out.
Yes, so that's one I think all of us saw. What else have you been watching, Care? Anything else?
Did I see anything else? You tell me.
I didn't have time to see anything else.
I think I only saw A Star is Born.
Okay, Tim, how about you?
I saw more than that. I'm quickly trying. I thought this was going to take longer. That Carrie had anything else to talk about, so I'm looking to see real quick what I have seen. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've seen 10 things.
Good Lord, man.
What's the best one?
The best one is probably the 1969 animated short film Bambi Meets Godzilla, but I'm not going to talk about that because it's both a short film and from 1969. Instead, I'm just going to spend a second talking about a recent release. It was last weekend's #1 film, Night School, starring
I saw
Kevin Hart
that.
and Tiffany Haddish. I saw that. I see everything that goes to #1.
Yeah. Okay.
Dude, I'm a sucker for Kevin Hart.
Okay.
I am.
Then you might get more out of it than I did.
Okay.
I found it to be pretty lethargic.
Oh.
Supporting cast is great. Tiffany Haddish is wonderful. Rob Riggle is in it and is really good. Romany Malco, who I've always had a soft spot for. And they're all like doing a lot to breathe some energy and some comic, like, you know, enthusiasm into their characters, who are all written as sort of like these caricatured figures. Kevin Hart is really just relaxing on all of his tics. He whines, he's shrill, he's loud, he's short. The film even like calls attention to the fact that these are his tics in a certain way. Just not very good. It's too long. The plot is sort of all over the place and keeps repeating itself. And it's really just not funny. The supporting cast, again, makes it not painful to watch, but I would certainly say this is one to skip.
It felt like from the preview that it was going to be all the funny bits.
Right in the trailers, that's
Yeah.
what I was going to say.
That holds.
Yeah.
There's a couple, depending on where exactly you feel about jokes of men vomiting onto other men's faces. Maybe not all the funny bits were in the trailer, but I don't hold very much with that kind of humor. So,
Well, one to skip possibly. I'll probably still catch it when it becomes streaming or available for free. So
free is the right price.
Care, I imagine you saw A Star is Born.
I
I know
did.
you did. I know, unless you went off somewhere else. You had quite the.
Did you actually see Venom?
No, I did not. But
for
I
as long as it took you to go out to theaters to see this particular movie, you probably could have squeezed in.
probably could have. So Tim, I want your unbiased opinion on this because you don't know either side of the story. So I won't tell you how I feel either way. So pretend we're married for a moment.
Okay.
Okay. And let's say that you were with our children
Okay.
and that you were ungodly late getting home and that you only left your spouse 15 minutes to get...
Seems very impartial so far in your
Only left your
recounting.
spouse 15 minutes to get the 30 minutes it was going to take to get to the theater. Okay. Imagine that for a moment.
Well, I would remind my spouse that theaters have about 15 to 20 minutes of previews these days.
So true. So
really, I'm on time.
So really, based on the math here, you're going to be 15 minutes late to the movie.
But you're going to be on time because the movie doesn't start.
No, 15 minutes late even after that.
Okay.
There was traffic. Okay. So would you tell your spouse, A, it's all right, the first 10 minutes are not that big of a deal.
And we're talking about Star is Born now.
In A Star is Born, now that you've seen it. Not that big of a deal. Or B, you absolutely have to wait 2 hours and wander around the mall so that you can catch the first 10 minutes of A Star is Born.
Clearly, you have to wait. I mean, movies are movies. You don't start in the middle
Thank
of a
you, Tim.
movie. Jesus.
Thank you, Tim.
I'm talking 10 minutes here. So Rob tells me...
I have literally, this very evening, I didn't see a movie because I would have missed the first 20 seconds of it.
Oh, dear.
And it was a movie I
Wrong
was
audience.
super excited about.
Wrong audience.
And a movie that I will also probably never have another opportunity to see in a theater.
That's
Wrong
commitment.
audience.
He's the right
So Rob
person
tells
to
me
ask him.
you have to see the first 10 minutes.
You have
The
to see
first 10 minutes.
To be fair, the first 10 minutes include some of the movie's best stuff.
Thank you.
Oh, dear God.
Thank you.
So Rob's
There's
like,
so much, and she's like, well, can you just tell me what happens? I could tell you, but visually, it says so much, and it gives you so much information about Bradley Cooper in the first...
He's an alcoholic.
That's not just what it says.
That's all I found out.
Okay.
Yeah. So then instead, I wandered a scary mall for 2 hours, ate some bad Japanese food
Oh, is
from
it that mall, the one out on the east side of town?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
where
crappy
sketchy
little mall,
people
isn't
come.
it? But it's going to be the home to Madison's very first Portillo's in about a month.
Good,
I'm very
good.
excited for
Maybe
that.
I'll go back next
Get
time.
me some
So
Italian
anyway,
beef.
I ended up catching the 9 p.m. showing
Of A Star is Born.
of A Star is
Which is
Born.
what we're going to talk about.
We'll talk about today. So this one is directed by Bradley Cooper. It's his directorial debut.
Coop.
And then, so this is, you guys help me out here. This has been done and done time and time again.
This is
Who
the
wrote this?
The original
No,
version?
like, who would you coin as being the person that wrote A Star is Born, this one that just came out?
Well, I know Eric Roth is one of the co-writers. I think
Bradley Cooper,
has a
too.
credit. There were 3 credited co-writers.
Will Fetters?
That
Is he
sounds
the-
possible.
Okay. So yeah, those are the writers on this. This stars Bradley Cooper. It has Lady Gaga in it as well, and then Sam Elliott, which I think are probably the only people we have to talk about, right?
No, I think Dave Chappelle
You think so?
was...
He's in like a minute.
I agree, but I thought I was blown away by him. I thought he did a great
It
job.
was a really good minute.
We'll talk about Dave Chappelle later.
We'll talk about it later. So yeah, everyone probably knows the plot to the story, but there's a musician who's already famous, already made it musician, played by Bradley Cooper.
Maybe even past his prime.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. He's looking a little overdone. And he goes out after a show, ends up at a drag bar, and sees this beautiful... What?
Just great. I just really
it's
enjoyed
great.
all that stuff.
Sees this beautiful woman come out, played by Lady Gaga, and pretty much instantaneously, would we say, like, knows there's a connection, like wants to talk to her more, wants to see her more. And it's the love story that comes from that. And it's the ups and downs of their relationship as she deals with both his alcoholism that he struggles with and her eventual rise to fame. She's a beautiful singer.
Her career starts
career.
taking off
Yeah.
right at the same time that his is just falling apart.
Exactly.
And again, this is a story that's been told now in its 5th time. A little different. I think the first couple were more movie producer actress, and then the last one with
There was one that was director actress, and they're not
director,
actually in love. There were two that were 2 actors, and now 2 that have been 2 singers.
I feel like the storyline, I can't picture it. Director actress.
Well, it's substantial. To be fair, that one's not an official version. That one's
Okay.
What Price Hollywood. It's very, very clear that the 1937 A Star is Born was based on it, but it does make changes to bring it more towards a love story.
I like it when I can't picture it where the occupation the 2 have are different.
Yeah, no, and that's
it
part
makes
of
a lot
what's-
more
yeah,
sense
it
that
absolutely
they're
does.
both artists, musicians in this case. And what did you think, Kara?
I mean, I loved it.
Yeah?
I feel traumatized still, and having seen it, when did I see it? On Friday? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still feel a little bit off from seeing it. I don't know. It's the first traumatic movie I've seen in a good while, I would say.
You should have seen Mandy.
Different trauma.
How about you, Tim? You're fresh from seeing this, is that right?
Yeah, I am.
Don't do the thing where you go like, you're going to do that.
Well, what would you prefer me to do instead?
I'd be like, I love it so much, and then Carrie had me a tissue.
I thought it was okay.
Oh,
It didn't do anything for me.
you weren't
really.
sucked in.
I was not sucked in at all. I mean, I've seen this story 4 times now, 5 times. And, that's on me. That's not on the movie. I think it's fine.
What's your favorite,
I think
though?
there are no problems with this movie. I just didn't really enjoy watching it.
I can tell you, like, for me, it wasn't so much the story. I love this movie. Really did.
Yeah.
Had little to do with the story, had a lot to do with the chemistry between, and when I say chemistry, it's heavy on the Bradley Cooper side. I think Lady Gaga was tremendous in this.
We all know you want to have sex with Bradley Cooper. There's nothing wrong with that. He's a very sexy man.
How
Yes.
charming is the character Jackson Maine?
Crowd came home and he's like,
charming.
so charming. He's just so charming.
He says,
Destructive
sure,
and bad.
yes, but he's the kind of,
But like nice bad.
he's the kind of alcoholic you want to have around.
Yeah.
You know? He says.
I think you might need to rewatch the movie, Robert.
He says cheesy things, but I believe it. Were you just gush? You didn't gush when he was delivering his schmaltzy lines?
Let us say that I'm going to have a very long 6 months of not being a person who loves this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so rather than dwell on that, you guys just talk about how much you love it.
Oh, I just love this movie.
It was good.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what I find is the most upsetting part of this?
What's that?
I look at my nose.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have a Lady Gaga nose, which means
Very Nordic.
I was this close to Bradley Cooper.
I know, right?
Could have been.
I deduced that during the movie. I'm like, as he was dragging it down the very large,
No, and
oversized bridge, I'm like, that's my nose.
We touched on this in the video as well too, but I think there's a mass appeal of feeling the whole being plucked from obscurity. There is an appeal to that. That's why America's Got Talent gets the ratings it does. That's why American Idol.
To be
The
fair,
Voice.
I think those shows also get a large amount of their talent from like Laugh at the Freaks element.
Sure, but I think the people who are vested towards the end of the show are they see this transformation and kind of want to feel that. Boy, what if that was what if that was me? And then this movie takes it up a notch, where not only do you have that aspect of it, but then you have a genuine love story where the person who is plucking you is in love with you.
It's always good to pluck the person you love.
Pluck the person you love, and then also is like a famous person, so it makes it that much more endearing.
I also very frequently dreamed about being plucked by a famous person.
Bradley Cooper specifically.
And then
if Bradley Cooper wanted to pluck me, I don't think I'd have the wherewithal to say no.
And then I don't know if you had a feeling of, well, wait a second, what does Bradley see? What does Jackson Maine's character see in Allie? I think she is also. I mean, not only does he see her talent, but I think what endears him to her even more is that she treats him like a person, which seems like he hasn't been treated like a person, and that's established again in that kind of first act right away. Is just that she's talking to him, asking him like, "Hey, how are you?" And he probably hasn't been asked that in a long time. So, yeah, those were those kind of moments that really had me going. It did slow down quite a bit for me in the middle parts of the movie. Sure. When they weren't together, I didn't care as much, but then I cared really just when Brad came back. Yeah, when Bradley Cooper was on.
What did you guys think of Sam Elliott's performance?
Best in the film.
Yeah, I thought he was good too.
Yeah. I'd give Bradley Cooper the best of, and I'm already now.
Well, I mean, this is the difference. You want to have sex with Bradley Cooper. I want to have sex with Sam Elliott.
You have the older person thing.
If it were him and Helen Mirren and me, it would be like everything I want.
I know. Tim Sandwich.
So I ended up giving this a 4-star kind of 4-star rating. Where'd you end up, Tim?
3.
Oh my god.
3.
Ouch.
3. That's harsh. That's harsh.
It's a yes. Sure.
So I think I asked, but what's your favorite of all of the 5?
Though the Judy Garland version.
Judy Garland.
No
okay.
question.
So that's the one that's technically the first one.
That's the second one.
But I mean, technically the
Janet
first.
Gaynor.
Yeah.
First. So there's one with Constance Bennett under a different title, then Janet Gaynor, then Judy Garland, then Barbara Streisand.
And Judy Garland's the best. That's what I had read.
So I left the movie wanting to give this 5 just on Hart.
Well,
Hart alone. But I thought more about it, and there were parts in the movie that really had me thrown, and I'd like to talk about them more with you if we have time. I'd love to do a little
spoiler
extra
bit?
spoiler bit. 'Cause I have some questions.
I mean, I do wonder whether this is actually a spoilable story, but I understand the point you're driving at. Certainly the people who were in the theater with me did not know where the ending was going, which seems weird to me, but I guess not everybody has an encyclopedic knowledge of 50s movies. So.
I didn't know.
Directorial debut for Bradley is success, would you say? Like, you want to see more from him?
I'm interested to see his next thing. I think there were mistakes in this one, like bigger mistakes than people are saying, but I think I want to see his next
agree.
one.
We'll talk a little bit about those mistakes.
I do want to say in because I will be spending the next several months not having anything nice to say about this movie. I want to say that there are some real great shots.
Yes.
One in particular.
The gin one?
What?
Gin.
Oh, you're being cute. No, there are a couple nice images. I actually was having a conversation about this not that long ago. The image where he walks into the empty apartment and it's like in the kitchen area, and on the right side of the frame is this beautiful like blue light streaming through Venetian blinds, and on the left side is this bright red light coming from a neon light. I thought that was a great shot. And then there's another great shot that's a huge close-up of his face with some people in the background, like the backup dancers for Lady Gaga's new show. And it's a really wonderful composition that sort of shows the gap between them.
One thing that stood out to me as far as perhaps his style that he's kind of growing into is the close-ups. I noticed a lot of close-ups. And
too many close-ups.
It was too many for you.
It was too many for me.
It was certainly a style that
He ain't making The Passion of Joan of Arc.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll look forward to catching your review of that. Night School, is that up?
Not yet.
Okay, so
maybe by the time this podcast is live, Night School will be up, but it's not yet.
All right. Well, remember, you can find more details about all the movies we've watched at our website, alternateending.com. That's alternateending.com. Before we head to our break, you might be wondering about ways to support the show. Get early access and exclusive content, make us watch a movie, pick your own episode topic, and more from our Patreon site, just like Benjamin Ross Johnson, who's celebrating his first anniversary with us.
Happy anniversary.
As Carrie and I mentioned, we just finished recording our Star is Born movie review, and we need your help. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. It would probably take a little bit of time.
I would say...
Have you subscribed yet, Tim?
I don't even know how to subscribe to things on YouTube.
This is problematic.
Well, we need your help. Be sure to go out
either.
to our YouTube and subscribe. You can actually access our videos. We're going to be posting them, all the newest ones, live on the front page of our website, alternateending.com. Also want to thank all of our listeners who support the show and make their Amazon purchases through our site. Doing it is easy. Just go to our website, alternateending.com, click on our Amazon banner, and seamlessly go about your purchases. All proceeds go to making our show better. Since our last episode, here were the things that were purchased. Had some Hanes Woman's Nano t-shirt. That's the kind of repels the sweat.
Yep.
Kind of gets it going, in a deep red.
Yeah. Real deep red.
Deep red's
You don't want to wear gray.
Also had a chic classic collection, little stretch elastic waist pull-on pant.
All right.
Original stonewash denim.
Is that like an elasty pant? Like a
Maybe it's
pants
like,
with elastic?
It's like a legging denim, maybe.
Oh, okay.
You know
a
what I'm saying?
jegging.
Yeah, like a jegging.
Jegging.
Gotcha.
You might as well be comfortable. Jeans.
Yeah.
Jeans
You can't tell the
aren't
difference
super
either.
comfortable.
Jeans are quite comfortable, sir.
You find jeans comfortable?
I find them more comfortable than other things.
You're wearing jeggings right now, though.
Well, obviously I am, because I'm trying to show off my junk.
It's working.
Thank
it's
you.
okay.
We also had a mock fly jean. I don't know what that is. What's a mock fly? Like,
gotcha.
It doesn't actually have a zipper. It like mock. It like
That would be my
pretends
guess.
to.
It's probably
yeah.
like a woman's pants that has a zipper for show.
But it looks like it has a fly.
Because a woman doesn't need to wee out of her fly.
But it's stylistically it's
Yeah.
the style is
It's
there
for shoe.
Okay. I just realized we did see some movies, Gary. We saw Harry Potter.
Oh, I saw Harry Potter.
Well, well, maybe another
So we
time.
saw 2 movies.
Yeah, digital music. We had Happier.
Had you not previously seen Harry
No,
Potter?
we had. This is we're trying to get our girls into seeing.
Are these the
HP.
delicate ones who don't like anything that's scary?
Yeah,
That's
so we
right.
were really excited about the snake scene where they like jam a sword in its brain. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
did you check the common sense score?
basilisk.
I was like,
Oh, so
I
you didn't
forgot.
even show them the first? You just dropped them into Harry Potter 2?
We've done 2 weeks in a row.
Okay.
HP 1 and HP 2.
we're going to be thinking about it before HP 3.
I would recommend not proceeding past 3, because
Yeah.
that's the point where they start like bringing in horror imagery.
Okay, we'll wait. On Kindle ebook, we had The Theater of the Oppressed. Not familiar with that. Kitchen and House.
Sounds pretty straightforward to me, but okay.
Kitchen and Housewares. The Highware 10 pairs of reusable chopsticks.
Chopstick.
I love eating with
I do
chopsticks.
too.
We don't have chopsticks in the
I
house.
know.
You like just keeping the wooden ones.
I know.
You sent me
But
a
then they're
picture of
used.
the.
That's super. You're going to just have all kinds of bacteria going
I
on.
know. I'm fine with it though.
To get the lacquered ones.
While Kara was eating her terrible sushi,
Mall food?
mall food, she took a picture of a sauce packet. She likes to collect sauce packets from restaurants and bring them back.
No, but it was sriracha.
I'm glad to know that Japanese place is no good, because I keep thinking I might like grab a bite there.
Yeah, I wouldn't highly recommend it, but they have free sirachi packets. So if you just store those, it's like you can get your money worth for
to know.
the shrimp that gave me salmonella.
Also had a Tusista wristband. That's for the golfer, perhaps, like a TomTom.
The metal
kinda
one?
GPS band strap.
What
Okay.
in God's name are you saying?
I'm saying things, a lot of words coming out of my
Okay.
mouth. Not making any sense. GPS, little band strap to
Yeah.
hold your GPS
Hold your
device.
wrist. Yeah.
Sure.
Let's just go with it. Gorilla Clear 100% silicone sealant caulk
Oh, Gorilla's
Yes.
a good glue brand.
Yeah,
Need
gotta
to
have
have
a
that.
gorilla cock.
Gotta have a cylinder cock.
On DVD, we had the Universal Classic Monsters collection. Had Dracula, Frankenstein, the Mummy, the Invisible Man, the Bride of Frankenstein,
I've been flirting
and
with
the
the idea
Wolfman.
of buying that set.
It's the whole set.
It's all of them.
Do you want to know who this person was, don't you?
I want to be your friend.
Yeah.
I want to
On
hang out and
Blu-ray.
borrow your
Write
your
Tim
Blu-ray
and let us
collection.
know who you
I
are
want to borrow your DVDs.
with an image of your
I
face.
bet it looks nice too. It's probably styled really nice.
No,
The-
it's actually a pretty banal looking
Really?
box set. A lot of
Disappointing.
those big studio box sets don't look like much.
Okay.
sadly.
Well, on Amazon Instant Video, we also had the Bugs Life, or A Bugs Life purchase, excuse me. Amazon Instant Video, Attack of the 50-Foot Woman,
Good movie.
and Twin Peaks, Fire Walk With Me.
That's the movie.
Good movie as well.
That is
That's we talked about this.
Nice,
just
very
like-
good
I'm
retention.
retaining
It's
these
the retention
things.
that's
Yeah,
helping.
usually I
You're
don't.
fighting off the
Thanks.
Alzheimer's that
Thanks.
the early
My
onset
still
that you
Alice.
clearly have. And we also had 2 Amazon
And you remember the
channel
name
trials.
of a fairly obscure character drama from 3 years ago that only existed to win an Oscar. So that's
Which
also
one is
impressive.
that?
Still Alice.
Oh, yeah. I did.
No one talks about Still Alice. That's actually super
See?
impressive.
I know. I'm fine.
Well, thank you for all your purchases. When we get back, our top 5 space movies.
Space.
And welcome back to Alternating. We're talking about our top 5 space movies.
Space.
What is space, Care?
It's all around us, Rob.
It is.
Yeah.
Space is very big.
It occupies
It's so mind-bogglingly big.
a
So
lot.
it's really any movie.
Could be.
All movies have
All
space.
movies. So what's your favorite movie?
Yeah.
Basically. Is what we're
Any
doing.
movie that's out of this world.
Okay.
I was saving that joke for later, and I used it too soon.
Okay.
That's okay. I had a really great
wasn't
joke
good,
that I
so
said
you're fine.
off the air, so I'm just feeling real bad right now.
Yeah. you got to save them for the
I should
airwaves.
just not talk to either one of you if we're not
No.
recording.
This
I
is something
agree.
that I feel is very personal to each
Really?
person.
Why
Yeah.
is that?
Well, because I think there's some easy ones you could just stick in here. Some
We
big,
don't do
big
that.
movies.
Not here at AE.
If you wanted to really kind of bring
My
it down.
list is full of very obvious movies.
Oh, very obvious.
Extremely obvious.
Okay. So what
Mine
were your
too.
rules?
All right.
What was your criteria?
If our criteria lines up, we all have all the same movies. Okay? If it does not, it's all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually think maybe because you guys are purists, we might line up today. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So for me,
Well, my criterion was, is it on Carrie's top 5? And if it was, then I could include it on my top.
you're trying to get these episodes shorter. I understand. So the focus has to be about space and space exploration with a heavy focus on space and being in space. All right?
Say space one more time. I fucking dare you.
Space. So not there just can't be a bunch of extraterrestrials is the focus cruising around in the outer limits. This has to be
So if there are alien beings,
nope. That's not space
that's
to
not
me.
that
It
doesn't
can
disqualify
be.
it.
It can
would
be,
say.
but
Doesn't
for the
exclude
purpose
it,
of
but-
this list, I think the purpose has to be space exploration. I think a lot of the alien movies are, hey, we're aliens, we're in
Yeah,
space.
like there are alien movies that would meet my criterion and alien movies that would not.
All right. But I want you to be the fact that you're in space and that you're navigating space is a critical plot point.
Yes.
I tried to specifically steer clear of extraterrestrial movies and then sort of sci-fi space movies where it was like, that's less about space exploration because that's where you exist. I wanted it to be clearly a focus on people exploring beyond in space from what they know.
Sure.
I like it.
Do we line up?
I like it. Tim.
I'm similar to that. I too was focused on space, like as space. Like the point of the movie has to in some way be space is big,
Say
space is
space one more time. I
foreboding.
dare you.
You know, the way you said space felt weird. The way I said space feels normal. That's all I'm saying. I also haven't said space as many times as you said space.
It feels like a lot of spaces.
Now I have. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's a weird word to keep saying.
Yeah. Do you have any movies with Kevin Spacey?
No, although there's one that was on my short list
Office Space?
that neither has Kevin Spacey nor
I was
is
just
set
trying
in
to say space again.
No, so for me, it's all about like it has to be about in some way reckoning with the vastness
Yeah.
and like inhuman threateningness of space.
yeah, space has to be almost a character.
Space has to be big and empty and scary and a vacuum.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we might be closer on this. I agree with everything that you have said. It's not just about, people doing things in outer space. It's about trying to potentially either get to or explore space.
Okay.
This was kind of my definition for that. And then...
what takes you to the top? Quality of movie or more space?
It's one of those things where it's a combination of both. It's got to be a quality, but then how much of it is space a character in this particular movie and a focal point of trying to get to space. I mean, the whole purpose was we were trying to build this around First Man and kind of journeying further than anyone has ever been before. Those are the kind of merits that I'm going for.
Boldly going where no one has ever been
boldly
before.
going. So maybe that's okay.
That doesn't count.
I would say at least the first one does.
I would say Star Trek certainly more likely than
Yeah,
Star
but you got
Wars.
Klingons, you got...
Star Wars
is
doesn't
not-
give a shit about space.
I would say
I don't
Star
know.
Trek, the motion picture, absolutely meets every part of my definition. For
I would
space
say
movie.
There's
maybe
too many
First
extraterrestrials.
Contact would also maybe be something that
Maybe.
would have qualified.
There's some aliens in there, though.
It doesn't. I'm okay if there's aliens. If again the purpose is exploring space, and that's really Star Trek's whole thing.
Sure.
So anyway,
So
We'll see if it's on my list.
Yeah. So we'll see. So I'm starting off with my least spacey, but this isn't the best. This is a better movie than where it is on the list, but it's the least spacey. Okay.
It'll be good for you to not be spacey for a change.
Yeah. I've never been called that outside of this podcast. So I actually have. But this might make both of your lists. And this is from 1997.
No.
No, but you
Nothing
thought
from
about
97.
it?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, you made
know
it
what
seem
you're talking about
like you were. This is one of my favorite space movies and favorite movies.
but it's likely you have the year wrong, so I'm going to go with it.
That's a possibility.
It
for
could
sure.
be, and maybe we do. Directed and written by Andrew Nicol.
That's not a space movie. I mean, it's a great movie, but I don't.
People have this as a space
in
movie.
what? Okay, well, tell us, Carrie. How is this a space movie?
This is a space movie because in the movie Gattaca, 1997, this had to make my list because if you've missed this, you have to see this movie.
Well, agreed.
I agree.
Okay.
But do you have to see it because it is in any capacity
About
about space?
Yeah. So there's this guy, Vincent, who's so excited about space. And he is played by Ethan Hawke.
Well,
And
you laugh now, but Radio Flyer is going to be on my list. So.
It's like Radio Flyer.
Is that, I think I remember that one. Is that where they can hear a frequency on the radio?
No, that's Frequency.
That's Frequency, yeah. So Ethan Hawke is the last of the... Jump in on me in this, too.
Nope.
No.
You get to deal with this one all by yourself.
This
defending this as a space
This
movie.
is a tough plot to describe. So... and I want to sell it to people because it's so good. So,
So what kind of future is this? This movie called Gattaca.
it's set in the future.
But what is the nature of the future?
Okay, so it's set in the nature of the future where Ethan Hawke is...
What is humanity like in this future?
It's real bad.
Is it like genetic manipulation might be involved?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. So you're living in a sterile world where natural born babies gone.
All babies are genetically manipulated in the womb now.
But
That's a
in
thing.
some ways, this calls a lot of things into question. So you can be like, hey, not a big fan of diabetes. And so it's like, I don't want my kid to have that. Not also a big fan of blue eyes. Like you can genetically craft.
Well, that's just dumb right there.
We're all blue-eyed babies. But yeah, so you can do all that. You can make sure that you have the perfect child when they're born. So Ethan Hawke is left. He's a natural-born baby. All he wants to do is travel to space. And so you're discriminated against in this world if you're not genetically engineered, basically. So he takes on the DNA from Jerome, who's played by Jude Law.
Yep.
And Jude Law is unfortunately not able to walk because he was in a car accident, but he's able to pass all these tests that Ethan Hawke needs to go to space. And it becomes this spacey murder mystery in space.
Light on the space, but sure.
A suspense movie, and it is so good of like they're after him to find out like if he's legit, and he's trying to cover it up as well. But it's like it's a mystery too, right?
Oh, totally. It's a murder mystery.
Murder mystery.
yeah,
And
it's
then
a
there's
great
somebody
movie.
dies.
It's a terrific motion picture.
Yeah.
I deeply wish for everybody to see this movie.
Yeah.
For all of
all the
reasons
spacey
that
aspects
have
of this
nothing to do with
movie.
space.
It's so
There are some shots of rockets
yeah.
shooting up into the sky.
And where does he want to go?
That's where he wants to go. That's
Up in
what
the
he's
sky.
working towards.
Yeah.
He is working towards
Space exploration,
Being able to
which
be
I mentioned
approved
my
to go.
criterion. So
All right.
that makes me number 5.
not a space movie.
Space. Space.
I feel like the exciting thing is that the bar has now been set such that it will not be even remotely difficult for anyone to clear it moving forward.
You have Space Jam, don't you?
I do not have Space Jam.
Oh.
I do not care for
What's
Space
your number
Jam.
5?
My number 5 is a movie. Okay, now this is going to seem a little bit weird after Carrie's. It's set on board a spaceship traveling through space.
All right. Tell me more.
So this is 2007's Sunshine, directed by Danny Boyle. Is it on your list?
Seen this,
It's on my
Rob?
list. It is my number 2.
Did I see this one?
My number 2.
I didn't actually think anyone besides me would have seen it.
Oh, really?
Is it
Come
where the
on,
whole
man.
thing? I think I've seen it. Something's blowing up. Things are going to blow up because they get too close to the sun, right?
So basically, we fucked the sun.
Right. You don't
And
want to
not-
do that.
Not literally, figuratively, the sun is fucked.
Sure. Things were
and
hot,
so they're
though.
going to, basically they're using all of the fissile material on Earth to create a massive nuclear weapon to try and reignite the sun. And this is the story of the mission to the sun, to drop off this giant nuclear bomb, basically. It's a weird movie. Like, it has a lot of different things. There's a third act that a lot of people don't like. I personally love the third act. I think one of the interesting things this film does is that each act is kind of a different sci-fi subgenre. But setting that aside, the reason this made my list is because it's all about space is big, space is scary. A billion things that could happen in a spaceship could kill you on the spot, so you better pray that none of them happen. And assuming everything goes well, basically what you're doing is piloting so close to this enormous fireball that you will die just by proximity to it.
I think they make it. Do they make it? I can't remember.
They sure do.
Yep.
Happy ending, and there's a kitten, and the kitten sings over the rainbow in the final scene. It's a great happy movie.
I forgot about it, and I should have put it on my list.
So
like
so
that
yeah, so
ending
it's basically
with the
just
kitten.
about like the punishing effort it takes to travel to our sun. This is not like the depths of space. This is the most prominent thing in our solar system. We're fairly close to it.
We can barely navigate in our own neighborhood. Is basically
Let us put it this way: the sun is, if I'm not mistaken, half as far from us as we are from Mars. So, like, that's the thing people want to go to, and the sun is, like, in this movie, just so impossible to get to, and that's part of what makes it a great space movie.
Does anyone actually travel towards the sun ever? We always travel away. Do we ever travel towards the sun when we go into space exploration?
I'm not familiar with missions there. No.
Part of when they move towards the moon, like, they are at least partially going towards the sun, because the moon sometimes is between the Earth and
Yeah,
the
that's
sun.
true. That's true.
I love this movie. As Tim pointed out,
Not on your list, though?
no, it's number 2 on my list.
whoa.
Yeah, number 2 on my list.
We did see this together.
Directed by Danny Boyle, written by Alex Garland, who's brought us Ex Machina, and the movie that we didn't like. I'm blanking on it. Help me out, Tim.
I liked it.
I know you did.
I liked it a lot.
What's the movie?
Annihilation.
Annihilation.
Oh.
You know what movie I liked less than Annihilation?
What's that?
A Star is Born.
That's because you're so terrible.
But this one sets up space as a character, as Tim has said. It's the consequences of even a small screw up in space is a big deal. And
in this case, it's not even just the life of the people on the ship. It is the fate of the human species.
I can't
and
remember if
everything
they
else in
make
it.
it or not. I just
Cillian
can't remember.
Murphy, Rose Byrne, Michelle Yeoh, Chris Evans in this. Great
Chris
cast.
Evans is in this,
Mark
isn't he?
Strong. It's got. They're not I think they're. All right, Chris Evans is an A-lister, but
Not at the time.
not at the time. But these are all great.
Actually, at the time, I'm pretty sure Cillian Murphy would have been the biggest name in the cast.
It's a great cast.
Great cast.
Audience member Cameron Shaw, The Concise Statement, and WBTN also had Sunshine on their list. So great pick. I love this movie.
Cool. What's your number 5?
Oh, it's to my number 5. So my number 5 has space in the title. It's not Space Jam, though.
Wait, let me guess. Space.
It's come up.
Office Space?
No.
Oh.
It's come up before. It's a childhood movie of mine. I watched
Flight of the
it.
Navigator.
This is when I had
Radio
ambitions.
Flyer. In
It's
space.
kind of like Radio Flyer.
What's the
in space.
other one?
Lost in
that's like
Space.
No, it's
No,
not.
no
I know
one-
which one
no
he's
one
talking
has
about.
seen
The
this
space
movie.
between us.
It's the one that they just redid. It's
No,
the one
this
where it's like a
hasn't been redone.
ninja in
No,
space.
there is no
I know what
ninja
you're
in
talking
space.
about.
Calm down, everyone.
I know what you're talking
No,
about.
you do not know what
Is
I'm
it the
talking
Teenage
about.
Mutant Ninja Turtles where they go to space?
No, guys.
Is there a Teenage
When
Mutant
you
Ninja
were
Turtles when they go to
kids-
space?
No, I know what it is.
No, when you were kids and you wanted to go to space and maybe a summer program, where would you go?
Oh, I haven't seen this
To
movie.
space camp. Go to
Space
space
camp?
camp.
Space
It's a thing.
camp?
Yes, it's a thing. And it was a movie in 1986 featuring Kate Capshaw, Leah Thompson, Kelly Preston.
That's not what I was thinking.
And a young Joaquin Phoenix.
All right.
Maybe his first appearance, possibly his first
I
appearance.
think you're the only one that saw this.
Do they, spoiler this for me,
Yeah.
do they go into space?
Yes, by accident.
But it is therefore more of a space movie than Gattaca.
It is absolutely. Not only is it in the title, they actually go into space.
I think Ethan Hawke does too.
Joaquin Phoenix befriends a robot, and the robot knows that Joaquin's dream is to go into space, so it kind of sets him up to go in, and then the space campees, led by Leah Thompson, Kelly Preston.
Sure they would be space campers.
Space campers, thank you. Follow him along and go into space, and they have to figure out how to get back down to Earth with just space camp experience.
You know, it sounds like that movie Space Chimps, but less interesting because it's humans instead of chimps.
It is cool. It is cool. I don't want to rewatch it again. 1986. Have no interest. It has a special place in my heart. It made me want to go into space. Made me want to join space camp. I remember trying to figure out, it was before the internet, but I wanted to figure out how do you apply to get, is space camp even still a thing?
You would do that.
I don't know if it's still a thing, but like, I don't think it was actually all that hard to get into space camp. I think it was more of a, like, it was expensive.
Yeah.
At least this is what I was told.
My parents would have paid.
My parents were not wealthy like your parents, sir.
His weren't either, but they would have refinanced their home to make sure that Rob could have gone.
Because I would have whined.
Yeah, complained enough.
And the price of
I'm actually not certain that I ever brought up to my parents that I wanted to go to space camp. So
we just sent Abby to space camp.
Oh, jeez.
But that is, if you haven't seen it, I wish you could rewind back to 1986 and see it for the first time.
Or you could see it now for the first time.
See it now. It's fun.
I would be a 36-year-old man.
Leah Thompson, Kelly Preston.
If you're going to see that or Gattaca, what would you choose?
Oh, God damn it.
Well, it depends on the reasons why.
Because you're looking for a quality movie.
Well, clearly Gattaca. If it's because you want to see a movie that in any way, shape, or form fits our week's theme, it would probably have to be Space Camp.
Fair point.
Number 4, do you care?
Here's where things go.
Into space.
This one
hopes.
from here
or is this just one where it's like a scene at night and you can see stars in the background?
From here out, I am 100% in space. How many movies did I pull? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hopefully, pulled 5.
Okay, good. So this one definitely takes you to Mars.
All right.
And this brings
lot of
you,
possibilities.
Yep. What if I were to say to you, poop potatoes?
Yeah, I disqualified.
Why?
It takes place on a planet.
It's out of this world in space.
Well, so I mean, Earth is everything is in space.
So there's also the way in which you get there and return home, which is traveling through space. I would assume.
You talk about your movie.
I'll talk about 2015, The Martian.
Yep.
Is it on your list?
No, although this fits for me.
No, certainly closer than Gattaca.
Because there's the B plot is entirely set in space.
Yeah, the B plot.
Yeah, exactly. Where they're going to get him and return. Yeah. So this is directed by Ridley Scott.
And I think also the spirit of like trying to survive on Mars. I approve of it.
100%.
Good pick.
100%.
So Total Recall, okay?
Different. That's
yes.
sci-fi. That's
yes,
sci-fi.
Total Recall is okay.
That's in the same category as Fifth Element, though, right? Like it's more
Fifth
sci-fi.
Element's pushing it.
Is
I
it?
wouldn't have counted it.
I thought about Total
to
Recall.
me, Fifth Element in no way involves real science.
True.
Yeah,
Total Recall kind of involves real
I'll
science.
spot you. The Martian has some fun science. I mean, it's based on the
Mars.
writer, I believe, was trying to make it as
portray
scientifically
outer space.
realistic.
So this is written by Drew Goddard. It stars Matt Damon, Jessica Chastain, Kate Mara, and Kristen Wiig's in this. What?
Maybe. No, keep going.
Matt Damon. His name is Matthew Damon.
I will short circuit Rob's confusion. Drew Goddard also wrote and directed Bad Times at the El Royale, which is coming out next week.
He also did The Martian?
He wrote The Martian.
Holy
Wrote it.
crap.
Yeah.
I'm excited about
He's one of Joss Whedon's boys.
You
I'm
picked
excited
that one,
about
didn't
him,
you?
about the El Royale now.
You picked
even more
that.
so.
Drew Goddard's one of he does a lot.
He does some things.
Continue telling us about The Martian.
The space exploration.
It was making me feel ill looking at Rob's face when he was like,
confused. Yeah, no, I get you. It makes me look ill too. So, the team goes to Mars. The space exploration team goes to Mars, and something goes terribly wrong, and they have to bail out without one of their favorite space pals who's left there. They're like, oh, he's probably dead because something bad happens. So they assume he's dead, and when he's not, they're like, ooh, like, that's bad. They realize that he's not actually dead, but he's still living on Mars. But then he has to exist off of, like I mentioned, the potatoes while he's there and stay alive, hopefully waiting for them to come back to save him.
When you said best space pal, it made me immediately think of the phrase Space Buddies, which reminded me that there's a movie about those
That's
golden
your number
retriever
two?
puppies.
Yeah.
I hope someone has Space Buddies because I forgot about
It's
it.
coming. It's coming. So
Great movie.
isn't it?
I really enjoyed it.
It's
we
fun.
watched it recently.
It's
on
enjoyable.
vacation with
It's
your
light.
parents.
It's a movie to watch with your parents. It's a movie to watch. It's light in a lot of ways. It's not. There's no swearing much. I think they have one swear actually because they
He
wanted to
swears.
stay under a certain rating.
There's the moment where Damon says something like, "I can't believe I have to eat these cunting shit potatoes."
Something like that. Yeah. But that passes for PG-13. And so I really liked this movie. And I always
It's a
loved
great
Matt
movie.
Damon.
I couldn't quite get it to be a space movie for
Yeah.
me.
Maybe Jupiter. So that's my number 4. Yeah.
All right. So my number 4 is a true story about space exploration.
Give us some clues.
Stunned if it's not on at least one of your lists, if not in fact both of them. It's about a space mission that broke.
Most of them do.
And it could only be fixed by the fact that Tom Hanks
Oh.
can fix everything.
Of course.
Because he's Tom Hanks.
Of course he can.
So he was the commander of Apollo 13. He played
my number
Jim
1.
Lovell. I thought it would be on at least your list. Is it on your list?
It's
Rob?
on.
I don't think I've seen this movie.
Oh,
You unbelievable motherfucker. What is wrong with you?
I know. Is this a Ron Howard?
This is Ron
it's
Howard.
Ron
Yeah, I
Howard.
don't think I've seen this movie.
You sick
Jim
shit.
Lovell.
No, I can't remember anything about. If I've seen it, then I don't remember anything.
Tell us what it's about.
I know Ed Harris is in it.
It's about Apollo 13.
Kevin
it's
Bacon?
about
Kevin Bacon's in it.
the-
yeah.
Bill Paxton?
the third mission to land on the moon, which had a critical mission failure en route. So the mission, instead of land on the moon, became get our 3 astronauts back onto Earth without them dying in the hideous void of space. It is a critical film in my development
agree.
as a space nerd.
Okay.
I
I know
agree.
there's a scene where it's like, this is what we have to work with.
Yeah.
Make it work.
Make it work. And I love that.
100%.
That's one of the things I love about it. Like in space, you got to make it work or you're going to die.
Yeah.
Would
So it
you
happens in
say that
space.
this is probably
And
one
in
of the
space,
first
you're in a
space
teeny
movies,
tiny
though?
little like chunky hole with your friends Bill Paxton and Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
How influenced are you by the fact that you ate at a restaurant by?
I ate at the restaurant because it was Jim Lovell's restaurant. Good callback.
You got
Was that last week or was that the week before?
I think it
It
might have been
was
last
before.
week,
It was
maybe 2
before.
weeks. I don't know.
Well, do you feel like this was one of the first impactful space movies that you recall, though, when you saw it?
I mean, when I personally saw it, obviously, in the culture writ large, I'd be hard-pressed. I mean, in some ways, I feel like this is just a kind of many years later sequel to the 1983 film The Right Stuff.
But you saw this one first.
I saw this
Yeah.
one. I mean, for me,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
For
yeah.
me, this
Me
was
too,
a
me too.
crucial film in my development.
What year?
95.
95, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how it slipped by me.
You were fucking 12.
No, this was
You were
my-
a 12-year-old when this movie was in theaters.
You saw it.
Like, yeah, just
You were munching on your
picking
red
things
vines.
from
You missed
Blockbuster.
it.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know how I missed this movie.
I don't know either.
I know. I don't know.
It's
See
tense.
it.
It's fun.
See it.
It's
See it
sad,
tomorrow.
it's happy.
I'll give you the DVD when you return.
How
me to
many
my home.
Oscars was it? Did it win?
It won
like 7.
Anybody?
0
Seven.
Oscars. Maybe it won
7
visual
Oscars.
effects. It was nominated for a decent chunk.
Okay, because I have one on my number 4 that was nominated for 4 Oscars. Mm-hmm. Tim's going to have some problems with this one being on my list, but it is about space exploration. We're trying to get to space to save the world. Talking about Michael Bay's maybe one of his best
Transformers?
movies, Armageddon, 1998.
I thought about it, but I didn't want to get
Space
ripped
movie?
on. I did not
Tim
get
has a dead stare,
didn't-
his dead eyes towards
I didn't
me.
want to get ridiculed. I didn't want
Robert.
to see that face, so
Yeah,
I,
I mean,
didn't put it on my list.
Sure, it's a space movie. It's also a huge piece of shit.
How many Oscars was
yeah,
Apollo,
that's a huge
Apollo
piece of
13
shit.
nominated for?
More than this film was.
More than 4?
I
You
think
picked a
okay, find
Bruce
out.
Willis
Picture-
film? Oh.
I believe it was nominated for picture, for screenplay, for visual effects, for both sound Oscars. So I'm up to 5, and that's without even any acting.
Ben Affleck, gross.
But you know, 3 years later, it's a tougher market to get nominated. Ben Affleck grew up. This was
such a, like, I can't believe you
So
picked
after
this.
discovering-
Remember the scene where Ben Affleck
I love
and
this
Liv
movie.
Tyler are making out?
So
Yeah.
And he like fingers her with an animal cracker.
forget all of
Oh,
those.
yeah.
It's kind of the only thing I remember from that film.
I do remember that,
You
though.
know where they do that?
Where?
On Earth.
It's true.
I remember that scene though. It's like I'm navigating the
Yeah.
World
the
terrain.
outback,
The outback.
the terrain. Yes.
I'm going to get a drink from your belly button.
Yes. Well, in a 2 hour and 31 minute movie, there's time for that. You know, because
It
the
is
other
that long,
the
isn't
other
it?
2 hours was them in space and figuring it out. But
I
there's
love
the
that
Bruce
you picked
Willis,
this movie
Ben
for so
Affleck.
many reasons,
I figured
yeah.
this would have been more of your kind of a pick.
It is.
there.
No, I love this
But
movie.
I have not seen Apollo 13.
but I don't want to
See
be
it.
judged. Yeah.
This is where
You would have liked
You've seen Gattaca.
I have seen Gattaca is not a space movie.
It's a better film than this one.
It's a better film, but this is a space. Can we agree this is a space movie?
Unfortunately, we can't.
I think just
thank
as
you.
much as Gattaca, they're just like, oh, we got to get to this meteorite and break it down. It's
I'm not
really
alone
space.
in this. So yeah, for those who haven't seen it, I don't know how.
An asteroid the size of Texas. A phrase repeated several times.
Billy Bob Thornton, you enjoy him in this?
I enjoy no element of this film's existence, Robert.
Best Michael Bay film. Hit me.
No.
I'm just saying, hit me with it.
The Rock.
The Rock.
Obviously.
Oh, The
everybody
Rock.
Objectively, it's The Rock.
Sean Connery.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I'm not alone.
Losers try their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
So good.
God, I apologize. That was the worst Sean Connery I've ever done in my life.
It was very bad, but yet it was still so good.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
alone in Armageddon. Yourself, audience member, also had Armageddon on their list as well.
I believe he was also the one that said that if he sees Alien and or one of the or before
Prometheus.
or after
Prometheus.
Before or after.
movies that
Or
he will
before.
never listen to this show again. So
I respect the intensity of that choice.
That's,
it may or may not be the reason Alien was not my number 5 and Sunshine was.
we're very swayed by public opinion.
We are responsive to our listeners.
That's
not
right.
Swayed.
Oh, that's right. That's what I
different.
meant.
We're good.
Number
That's
3,
what I
do you
meant.
care?
Number 3 to me. Did I already talk about
You talked about
The Martian?
The Martian.
So what I'll tell you next is one I really legit think is on both of your lists if we're talking space movies here. And this one is directed and written by Alfonso Cuarón.
I love A Little Princess. Not really a space movie, but I like where your head's at.
Really? Because I thought it was,
I mean, it's the space as a Garrett attic.
I wish I knew which movie you were talking about
number
because it would
3.
make it...
He just said.
It's-
Go ahead.
What? So Little Princess is your number 3.
Yes, it is. my
Excellent.
Number 3.
This is it on your list
It's
though?
my number 3 also.
Oh, is it
So
really?
we all lined up at the same number.
First. Wow.
Wait, high five. Wait, over here. Wait.
You're not actually talking about A Little Princess.
Oh, no.
Okay, good.
So I'm talking about 2013's Gravity.
Yep.
We all have it the same
All
as
have it.
number 3? Okay. I don't want to talk about it. You tell me
That's
what
going to
it's
be
about.
a problem from a design standpoint. It's going to make the page look like an H.
It's very symmetrical. You tell me what it's about, Tim.
It is about space. Mm-hmm. And it is about a terrible thing happening in space that leaves a poor astronaut, played by Sandra Bullock, floating in space.
It's so sad.
And in more or less real time, she has to scrounge and scramble her way back to Earth somehow.
With the help of...
With the help of her own wits, really.
Yeah.
You don't think George Clooney helps out?
I think George Clooney is a liability.
You think so?
Perhaps.
I mean...
We're not really sure what George Clooney is.
A ghost.
Yes.
He's either a ghost or hallucination.
No, he's there.
He's dead.
He's there.
He died in the inky blackness of space.
No, he didn't.
This is, again, another one where
Well, he eventually dies in the inky blackness of space, whether he does it first or second.
But later, after he helps her.
this is a movie where really you just have the one actress in it, and the other actor is George Clooney, you could say, but it's space.
It's space.
It's her versus space.
And the cold.
Yeah,
Think about the cold.
All of the aspects of space and how unforgiving space is. So
And how certain things in geosynchronous orbit can outpace other things in geosynchronous orbit, which is wildly inaccurate, but I like it anyway because it's a good scene.
If you were a person who hasn't seen Gravity, and we didn't describe it all that
Then
well.
don't even bother because
But-
you needed to see it in theaters
wait,
in 2015.
go back
True.
to geosynchronous orbit. If you're in a
So
geosynchronous but closer to Earth,
so
wouldn't you go
anything in the
faster?
same level of orbit. Well, geosynchronous implies that you're actually none of them are in geosynchronous orbit. Geosynchronous means that you're over the exact same point on the planet. in
Okay, I'm
orbit.
with you then.
Anything in the same orbital plane is traveling at the same speed
no,
as
I'm with
everything
you
else
there.
in that orbital plane.
I thought you meant different levels of geosynchronous because the closer you are to
No,
Earth, I imagine you'd be going faster. I would imagine.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. I'm with you now.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
asteroids that are in the same plane as she are, or the wreckage, they're not asteroids, those would never catch up with her. They'd be moving at the same speed.
There you go.
Yeah, obviously because of gravity.
Flaw.
Because of gravity.
And you're excited about Roma. I'm excited to see
I
what.
get it. I can't wait to see what space debris falls on Mexico City. Is basically. I'm hoping it's a tie-in. I hope it's the Cuarón cinematic universe.
So that was one of your top anticipated.
It is.
Roma. So anyway, go back to this movie. If you haven't seen Gravity, but you've seen what else? Fill in the blank. You'll love this movie.
All is lost.
Yeah, anything.
What else?
Any isolation.
Contact?
I would say. What's the James
What about
Franco?
Contact?
127 hours.
Anything like that where
She's
it's,
isolated alone out in space and trying to get home. And it's like, it's the conditions and whatever. Like, I don't know. I thought it was a really good movie.
I loved this movie. I think it's a phenomenal piece of technical like achievement. It's beautiful CGI, really terrific 3D, which I've seen the movie 3 times now, once on a big screen, twice on my television set, all 3 times in 3D. Just a phenomenal experience.
Speaking of CGI,
so immersive.
I've seen a couple of YouTubes where they've kind of revealed what was green screen, what was not.
Everything that wasn't her face was green screen.
Yeah, even things you would think
would be fine
make
to
sense,
have as
like
a set
screwing
piece.
in a like a bolt.
Yep.
That whole thing was. It just doesn't.
It's an animated movie.
That's crazy.
Like, let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
Everything in that movie that's not Sandra Bullock's flesh is animated.
It's one of those things where
great score too.
Great score.
Yeah.
The vastness of it is really captured.
You feel space.
There's that
really
there's that
it.
opening shot, or there are no really shots because it's all CGI. But the opening image is like, I believe, like 13 or 15 minutes long, and it ends with Sandra Bullock's character having been like forced off of the space station that she's working on, like just spinning. And like she just descends into this tiny little dot far away. And like that's the moment that really hits you, where you're just like aware of how empty it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's your mom, I think, Kara, posted a Facebook thing where it kind of starts pulling back from a close up of
you
of
realize
someone,
how tiny you are,
and then it starts pulling back, to the universe, to the
Powers
Milky
of
Way.
10.
Yeah,
Is it like this old 1980s movie?
No, I don't.
There's this great movie called Powers of 10.
Possibly, I don't know, but it just keeps pulling away, and then you realize like how insignificant.
Yep.
you're a speck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Makes you feel real good. This is a warm topic. So that was my number 3.
Brendan Kline, Trish A, and Thrash Till Death also had Gravity
They
on
did
their list.
good.
Yeah.
Good. I don't feel so bad. That's your number 2.
So no, is it my number 2 or is it your number 2?
No. Oh.
Well, because we've never had this happen, so now I don't know what happens. Well, I have 2 left, and each of you
I
have
only have 1.
left.
I have 1.
So should we do my 2?
Yeah,
Do your 2,
Okay.
and then we'll circle back with Carrie's 1.
So my number 2 is another true story insofar as it's actually a documentary. It is.
You don't like those that much, do you? Oh, that's not a biopic. Not a
Biopic.
biopic. Sorry.
I love documentaries.
Sorry.
This is of the many wonderful documentaries about NASA and the space program. I think pretty much the consensus pick for the best one. This is 1989's For All Mankind, which was directed by Al Reinert, and is basically a documentary of all the Apollo missions that landed on the moon. So it starts with Apollo 8 and shows just footage, both footage taken from the moon, footage of the launches themselves, footage from inside the flights. And it's just this really amazing compendium of the images that go into making up, a moon flight, with an unbelievably great score by Brian Eno. So it turns out it's not like a Talking Heads documentary. Like, it's all sort of presented in this very chronologically fluid way. So like all of the missions are combined into like one super mission, so to speak. Like it's the overall arc of a given moon mission, but like footage from the various moon missions filling that in. With this beautiful, beautiful like ambient music, just giving this kind of dreamy, you're in space, everything's very floating and light, and I don't even know what to say. Absolute masterpiece. One of the great documentaries, I would say.
All about mankind.
For All Mankind.
All Mankind.
It's in the Criterion Collection, so it might very well be streaming on Filmstruck at this point. And if you haven't seen it, it's pretty short. It's 80 minutes. It's a great thing to like put on when you need to be like slowly relaxed into sleep. Like, it's such a wonderful mood piece with just tremendous footage of being in space.
I've not heard of it. Yeah,
This is the one that I knew was not going to be. Well, yeah, anyone who was on an Apollo is going to show up in either voice.
What about Apollo 18, Tim? Is that covered in this?
What about Apollo 18, Rob?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it happened. Maybe it didn't happen.
I'm just saying, I still have a number 1 in front of me, so we'll find out.
I have not heard about this documentary, but
it's so good.
Yeah, I'm a space guy. I think I'm a space geek too.
Yeah,
I think I would enjoy this. I need to check this out.
I think if you were a space geek, you would have at least heard of
if people actually even went to the moon.
Oh, well.
I mean,
we're just taking it for granted. I mean,
Kubrick.
Obviously NASA doesn't exist. We all know that. I'm just saying.
We just send them our
fun
checks.
to pretend.
Yeah.
No, great pick. Care.
When's the next time we are going to go to the moon?
I don't know that there will be a next time we go to the moon.
SpaceX will get us there first. Colonize it. I don't know.
Yeah. Rob wants to be on that ticket to Mars. He said it before. He's like, this place is blowing up back here. And he was like, I think we should take the kids and head to Mars, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I'd be one of the first settlers.
Yeah.
You do you.
You do you. Tim, we'll bring Tim later. So
the delay on the podcast.
It'll
would
be real
long.
It'd be fine. What?
Plus, it'll probably be like getting movies in like northern Canada. Like it'll be 6 months later that they finally open.
Yeah. What does Netflix look like in Mars? I don't know. We can't go there. So is it me?
Let's go to your number 2.
All right, to my number 2.
Oh, I thought you had one left.
I do, just the one.
Oh, okay.
She only had one left, but it's at 2.
Here we go. Here we go. And this is where things get super spacey. Also in the title. Is it matching with anyone?
Maybe. I mean, technically,
1987?
maybe. Nope.
No. Is 1987.
Moonstruck is not a movie about space travel.
Is it? Oh, well, I guess I'm out. No, this is written and directed by Mel Brooks, and this is the 1987 Spaceballs. Right?
No.
Right?
No, but I do know what Tim's number 1 is now.
Was there any doubt at all?
No, I should have realized.
I have no idea yet, but give me clues later because I like that. That's actually what keeps me interested in this podcast. So, King Roland. I'm never going to talk about what Spaceballs is about.
But this is like
it's set in space.
No. Let's let her go with it. I want to hear
no
what she has to say.
aliens. It meets the criteria.
What do you mean there's no aliens?
What aliens?
The dog.
The dog.
Barf.
Barf isn't an alien. Barf is a dog.
No.
He's not like a alien.
Quick question. Is Chewbacca an alien?
No.
Okay, so at least we can claim for her the merit of consistency.
Exactly. Gosh, no one agrees with that. But Spaceballs, people.
I mean, isn't Spaceballs itself defined as being an alien, like, particular species?
No, it's specifically defined as a space movie with all humanoid and dog-like creatures. Yep, and robots. And I didn't exclude robots. Your robots are completely allowed. Mm-hmm. Darth helmet.
They're exploring space.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Space is a focal point.
Yeah. Okay. They're in a ship.
Space is in the title.
That's
Rob.
true. Space
and they're in a
is
ship.
the
They're on a ship and they land in the sand with the blow dryer and then they head back
I know
to
what
space.
happens in the movie.
So Mel Brooks, John Candy is Barf,
Yep.
Rick Moranis is Dark Helmet, Bill Pullman is Lone Star, Joan Rivers is Dot Matrix.
What's the thing you're doing where you're like putting an H after every S that you say?
Am I doing that?
You said Spaceballs and now you said Lone Star.
I think I'm trying to really sell the movie. Okay. Is it working?
I mean, it's a charming film.
I know about space.
Sure.
So,
it's a parody of Star Wars.
It's a parody of Star Wars.
But it's different, I think, quite a bit. I can't think of any aliens in this
Star
movie.
Wars isn't, Star Wars doesn't qualify for me.
And Tim said the first one does, right?
No, Star Trek. Star Trek does.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so this is my number 2.
It sure is.
Spaceballs. It's on many. How many people's list is it on?
I don't know.
Lots.
I care enough to check before I put my list together.
You're supposed to, that's your job.
Oh, is it my job?
So that's my number 2.
All right.
Not on anyone's list,
Nope.
despite being a space movie.
What's on Tim's list? He already gave some clues.
All right,
we
number
know
1.
We know
Space is in the title.
Okay, give me another one.
It is me.
It is Tim.
It is me.
Kind of weird.
Yes.
Introvert. No, I can't think of. Tell me more about yourself. It is me.
It is an art film about space travel with space in the title that I haven't named yet.
But why do you know this? The thing is, why does Rob know the title?
Because he knows me better than you do, apparently.
I feel like I know you on other levels.
From 1968, Stanley Kubrick's adaptation with Arthur C. Clarke of 2001: Space Odyssey.
Space Odyssey. Is this a book?
So it's a weird... It was a short story that then became a book and a screenplay sort of in tandem.
Okay.
The book, I believe, was published before the movie was released, but they were sort of built at the same time.
Okay.
So it's not really an adaptation.
Space Odyssey.
2001: Space Odyssey.
What's it about?
It's about the evolution of humanity as a tool-making species.
Mm-hmm.
Carrie would be out of this movie within the opening scene.
So,
is there a goose?
Many millions of years ago, actually I think it is just called 2 million years ago, a race of savanna apes was visited by a strange black object.
Okay.
And after this visitation, the apes were able to use tools. They were able to, they had the insight to pick up a bone and use it as a weapon.
Hammer, sure.
I actually didn't get that from when I saw it, the original, the first time. So this is news to me.
I don't comprehend how you could possibly have
I just remember like a bone being thrown or
grasp
something.
anything out of the movie if you don't understand what I just said.
Okay.
So so the monolith gives this ape subspecies its first boost into being more than just savanna apes. 2 million years later, we are flying through space, we apes who threw bones at each other. And now another one of these monoliths have been discovered on the moon, and it triggers the next wave of human evolution into beings of pure thought and energy. On the back of two very important things. One is a lot of very, 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 very slow footage of space travel. Mm-hmm. And the other is this amazing special effects sequence that is basically what I imagine dropping a lot of acid is like.
So why is it number one?
Because it is one of the best movies ever made.
But for what reason?
For the ones I just said.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It is slow and it feels like an acid trip. It feels like a very slow acid trip.
As a non-acid user, I feel like you're right. That's what I'm missing.
I mean, I am a non-acid user, so I need the movies to use acid for me.
Sure.
But yeah, it's just all about like the unbearably large stillness of space and our very, very frivolous, trivial, and important spot within that vastness.
All right.
You'd love it, Carrie. You'd watch this movie.
It feels like it. It feels like it.
You would like get it. You would think it's great. You would have no lingering questions, and I think you'd find it very satisfying.
Yeah, everything you're saying leads me to believe that's
There's
true.
a killer robot named Hal.
Yeah? What
Yep.
about Dot Matrix?
No, but I'll bet they'd have babies if
They
Get along.
would.
Be really snippy.
Yeah.
Snippy babies.
I love Dot.
My number one.
I have no idea.
You know,
Give us
no clues?
give us clues.
You
Give
know
us
I'm a
clues.
Nolan fan.
Oh,
Nolan. Keep
number
going.
one, though.
Yeah, I just love this movie. I'm also a father of daughters, so.
Keep going.
You are a father of daughters.
You
Arrival?
got nothing?
Arrival?
No, Nolan. Christopher Nolan.
Keep going. Keep going.
Space movie.
Keep going.
That's all I need to say.
No.
Tim's already there.
What if we were to say the reason he said he's a father of daughters is because it's in part about the pain of leaving behind your family for long space voyages, and then they grow up to become, is it Ellen Burstyn? She grows up to
Yes,
become...
it is Ellen Burstyn.
They grow
Hello,
up to
my
become
name is
Ellen
Totoro.
Burstyn. Yep. Hello, my name is Totoro.
Talking
What
about
is-
Oh, I know.
So this was the first movie I saw, Carrie, after we
Matthew
moved to
McConaughey.
Yes. Well done.
This
now
is
you're
the
there.
first movie.
There we
First
go.
movie that we saw
Isn't
when
Jessica
I moved to Madison.
Chastain in it?
She's also in it. Plays Murphy.
Interstellar.
His daughter. It is Interstellar. Nicely done.
Nice. Number one.
Number one. Absolutely.
Interesting.
For me.
Doesn't feel spacey to me,
Consequences,
but sure.
How is it not spacey?
Well, it's in and out.
Matthew McConaughey's character has always wanted
I
to go
get
to
it.
space.
It's not Gattaca. I get it.
Yeah.
But-
Exactly.
It's a good second most spacey movie after
Gosh, I
Gattaca.
feel like sometimes we're on the same page, Tim, and that feels good. Yeah.
So the world has become crap.
Yeah.
Everything's dying. There's food will be no longer in
It's
existence.
going to be gone. Yeah.
And some strange things start happening to Matthew McConaughey and his family that lead him to a journey to figure out that there's a plan to go out into space to try to figure out how to move Earth off of, or get all the rest of the remaining people on Earth off of Earth. And it's the consequences of space travel. Tim already mentioned there's some time challenges there. This movie respects physics to a degree, which I appreciate as much as possible. So I believe Christopher Nolan consulted with a well-known physicist, Kip. Something.
Kip the physicist.
Kip
That's
the physicist.
right.
That's all, I just remember his name was Kip. And everything in here is like scientifically plausible.
The timing and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
everything about.
Much of what is in here is scientifically
But
plausible.
there's a scene in here.
Everything is a word
in particular where they go down to a particular planet where I believe the gravity is stronger or something.
No, what I'm referring to is that the strongest
spiritual aspects?
the strongest fundamental force in the universe is not love.
It is.
But it's not.
It is.
It's not.
What is it?
It's the strong atomic force.
It's love.
It's love.
But
I'm with you. I'm with
the
you.
piece where how tragic it would be, where you realize a mistake could cost you decades.
Yep.
Like that.
Yeah, that kills Rob.
That sunk in for me when I watched this movie. And I
I
don't
made
think
a
it's been-
mistake. They get to space and he's like, I made a mistake. And that mistake was 7 years.
Yeah.
And that I feel like that hit with you the most.
I don't feel like it's been captured as well in cinema as that.
I
particular
can't
movie.
name another movie that tries to capture it.
Yeah. Well, they've done some more like you're older now, Bill and Ted.
Similar.
Why was Bill and Ted not on your list?
It could have been, but this movie gets me.
I mean, if Gattaca makes the cut, I don't know what.
Oh, come on. Other people
So
had
this was
that.
2014. Our youngest daughter was born, so this movie just hit me at the right time. But yeah, and it's about exploring space. Matthew McConaughey delivers I think, a great performance as well, too. I didn't realize this until going back to research. Also, Timothy Chalamet is in this.
What is he?
As he plays the future Casey Affleck.
Okay.
So he's...
what fruit does he fuck in this movie?
That'll
help me place it.
It would have been corn, because that was the only...
Fucking corn.
I feel like that would be
would be
really
tough.
hard. Yeah.
You know, it's really hard thinking about Timothy Chalamet fucking corn.
So Anne Hathaway's in this as well, too.
Call Me By Your Name to understand
Well, you
the
have
show.
to have seen Call Me By Your Name.
You said Matt Damon, a cameo by Matt Damon that is truly unforgettable. Some people say it ruins the movie. I enjoyed his cameo in this movie. A very unexpected performance by Matt.
Now that
Matt
you say
Damon.
that, yeah, he does a lot of weird cameos.
Yes,
He's
he
kind
does.
of noted for it.
Yeah, his Avengers thing and all that stuff. Yeah. Anyway.
Constance Wozniak, Jason Stewart, and Joshua Hamm also had Interstellar on their list. Appreciate all your picks.
pick.
Every week we ask you to share your picks and thoughts for a chance to win a free Amazon movie rental. Based on the results, here are your top 5 picks. We had Apollo 13.
All right.
At number
mine.
5.
Good movie. You should see it, Rob.
I should see it. Also at number 5, we had Wall-E.
I couldn't do it. It wasn't enough
not-
space.
I'm not... I mean...
Right?
The good
maybe,
parts were on
yeah.
Earth.
The good parts
Yeah.
were the entire film, but also... I don't know.
No,
I
I didn't
don't know.
see. Yeah.
Now, this next one at number... Where am I at? 4?
3.
No, it was because it was tied for number 5.
Oh, okay.
Number 4, I believe this is another one where I don't think I remember seeing it. The Right Stuff.
Oh, that's definitely not a space movie.
It's not a space
It's a
movie?
space program movie, but I believe they never get farther than the outer atmosphere.
But so I guess same way October Sky, for example, wouldn't be a space
Correct.
movie to you. Okay.
Same way Hidden Figures wouldn't
Hidden
be a space
Figures.
movie.
See, Hidden
Yeah,
Figures.
that
I
was
thought
tough.
about
Yeah.
it. I thought about it.
You would
Did
have
end
been
up seeing it?
fairly
No.
ruthlessly mocked if you'd put
Okay.
Hidden
But I
Figures
knew
on the
you
list.
had.
At least they go into the upper atmosphere and the right stuff. They don't even fucking leave Florida.
That's true. That's true. We line up with the audience at number 3 with Gravity.
All right.
How about that?
Jeez, This is like
So
a
that's-
mutual
It's
high
like-
five,
yep.
like a fist bump. Everyone that you're listening, like, if it was your number 3, put it in the middle.
At number 2, we have Alien,
Okay.
which I just couldn't bring myself to put on the
No,
list.
I literally had it at my number 5, and then I read the commenter, and I was like, now I feel self-conscious, and I replaced it with something. To me, it's absolutely a space movie. It's all about, like, you're stuck in the middle of a big fucking empty place, and there's something that wants to eat you there.
Yeah.
We're
But
so
it's more
easily
about the latter.
swayed.
More about the latter. Although the poster
The
is...
second
no one can
hour
hear
is
you
more
scream
about
in
the latter.
space.
The first hour is more about the former.
Yeah. Last but not least, at number 1, Tim, what do you think it is?
I think that it is probably Space Camp.
It is Space Camp.
This is it's
It is
Gattaca.
2001: A Space Odyssey, as it should
Is it
probably
really?
be.
Of
yeah.
course it
Yeah.
is.
Oh,
It would be. Had I cared about that film, I just can't.
the
It's too
reader
long,
listener
but you
bent
should.
is.
Oh, it's too long. That is your objection
Yeah.
to it. I would have expected you would have other.
Although
concerns.
Interstellar is almost 3 hours long.
Well, there's also that.
So
Interstellar is the maximum length a film could be and show on celluloid film on IMAX.
oh really?
To the minute. It's
To the
as
minute.
long as it could
Interesting.
possibly have been.
Christopher Nolan pulling out all the stops. Kevin J. Olsen was our winner this week, who had
Congratulations,
2001: A Space Odyssey on his list. Good taste there. Star Wars, still not sold as a space movie.
maybe.
Alien.
Different parts of different Star Wars films are spacey. Like the Empire Strikes Back asteroid scene is space.
Yeah, I'm with you. Ghosts of Mars. Planet
Seen it?
of Vampires.
I haven't seen Planet of the Vampires.
Have you seen the one before that?
I like Kevin, and I'm going to not make any statements about Ghosts of
Okay,
Mars
all right.
as a result.
Kevin, shoot us an email at contact@alternateending.com for details on how to claim your free Amazon movie rental. If you want to win a free movie rental like Kevin, be on the lookout for a spoiler alert or top 5 movie posts on Facebook and Twitter to share your favorite picks. In closing, thank you everyone for listening. Be sure to head out to our Facebook page and like it.
Ooh,
ahead.
I forgot I had an honorable mention.
What do you have?
My honorable mention is a film that came out earlier this year. It's called Star, but like not the word star, like the icon for a star. And it is a film whose director found every piece of footage that shows only stars, not like stars and ships, not stars and clouds, whatever, and this in the history of cinema, and strung them end to end.
How long
This is
a movie
the
was it?
worst.
It's like 2
pick.
hours long.
Wow.
There's a review of it on our site. I think it's a terrific film. It's one of the most exciting films I've seen in the theater this year.
Interesting.
I loved it.
Well, it's
Sounds
like going
it.
to a planetarium and like seeing those scenes unfold. You just can't help but just have your mouth
pretty good.
gaped open.
I feel like even by your face, you know it's ridiculous.
I mean, it's a great movie, but it didn't make my list for a reason, and that is that I knew the look on Carrie's face would be hilarious. So,
Go out to our Twitter as well. We're tweeting all the time. Alternately.com, where we find all of our movie reviews, podcasts, our videos now, and more. Instagram as well. Well, we won't.
Are we on MySpace?
Yeah.
We should, as long as we're on MySpace.
Is that the
We are.
still thing?
It's coming back.
I know Justin Timberlake owns a portion of that. He
There you
probably
go.
sold it
Justin
off.
Timberlake wouldn't buy anything that was silly.
Yeah.
YouTube now, where you'll find our videos, including a Star is Born review, which hopefully will be up within the next few days. And subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Google, or wherever you find your podcast. And don't forget about our Patreon. With Michael Myers and the Halloween sequel coming to theaters soon, we're going to be looking at our top 5 killers next week.
Killers.
What is a killer?
A post-punk band from the early 2000s.
It's a murderer thing, right? I like murderers.
Perhaps.
People who do murders are killers, yes.
We will catch you then.